Now, how cute is this? It's just too cute. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, June the 22nd, 2020, and it is the 103rd day of my isolation. So I hope everybody's doing okay, and you saw my little teaser at the beginning, and I have something really special and exciting that I want to tell you about that you can become part of, and I will be talking about that a little later in the vlog today. So let's just jump right into a current project. Another little quilt behind me. This is made entirely from scraps. It's called the Diamond Bright, and it's a method called paper foundation piecing. Essentially what you do is you have a square of paper, the size you want your square to be. In this case it's 6.5 inches. And you just take random lengths and widths of fabric that you have laying around in your scrap stash and sew it down to this piece of paper. And once it's sewn onto the paper, you pull the paper off it from the back and then put all your blocks together and you get something like this. Now this particular one was done with 4 colors in mind: yellow, blues, greens, and reds. And this particular design came from the Quilter's Way, which is Kim Jamison Hurst's paid subscription site that I belong to, and I've talked about many times before. And just as a shout out to Kim and to other people, if you're interested in quilting, then this is a site for you to join. It's very reasonably priced every month and you get great value for the money. So that's my little commercial for Kim. I can't say enough about that site. I've really enjoyed my membership on there in the past year and a half. So anyways, this was the challenge put out there. We wrangled our scraps, as she called it, got them in order, got them cleaned up, and then we went to our scrap pile and pulled out the ones that we'd use for this quilt. It goes together really fast. It's not a huge quilt. You could make it any size you want though, but I stuck to the dimensions that Kim had laid out and added a couple of borders. And so my plan is later today to start quilting this, and I think I'm going to do something very simple with this. Since I have a lot of straight lines in this, I think I'm just going to do my standard walking foot wavy line. I'm becoming famous for that. Well, in my own mind, that is. So yeah, that's what I worked on in the last week or so and got to finish that up. Done some other things too that we'll talk about in a few minutes, but now let's go to the YouTube channel of the week. And I will apologize in advance for this. I do not usually make any kind of criticism of any of the YouTube channels that I review on here because that is not my purpose. My purpose is to support other content creators. So in this particular little video clip, you will hear one minor criticism, and I want to emphasize that it's a minor one and it's just me. It isn't probably anybody else. In fact, I probably shouldn't even brought it up. But anyways, here it is. This week's YouTube channel is called the Paper Outpost. I find this particular channel great for inspiring me for creating mixed media, cards, scrapbook pages, anything in paper craft. They're very clearly done. They're very detailed in their explanation. And if you're interested in certain tools that you may have or want to purchase, there are some videos where she reviews and shows you how to use various tools. However, the one thing I do have against this channel, and it's a minor thing, and it's probably just me, is that I think she owns a parrot or some sort of bird that is constantly squawking in the background. And for me, I find that very annoying. It breaks my concentration. However, if you can get beyond that, the content is well worth watching. So check out the Paper Outpost. Okay, so the link is in the show notes below for this, and you will also find a link to Stephen and Walter Live. And we spent some time yesterday talking about something that we would like to do with the people who are regulars. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be the regulars. It can be anybody. And you'll find in the show notes a link to that. And I'm going to come back and explain that in a little bit more detail further on in the vlog. You will also find a Idiot Quilter link as well. I give you some updates on what's going on with my sewing machine and with some projects I've been working on and some purchases that I've made. And there's the link for the book of the week, which we'll come to momentarily. But now let's talk a little bit about our canceled river cruise. Now, this is an ongoing saga as well. It seems during this whole COVID thing, we've run into one problem after another problem. Slowly but surely, most of the problems that were created by the COVID situation are being solved for us. Not this one. And this one is probably the most major, not probably, is the most major problem we're having. And that, of course, is with the cancellation and getting our money back from the cruise company for the cruise that was canceled. Now, just to recap, in case you're new to the vlog, we booked way back last year a river cruise that was to leave at the middle of May from Amsterdam to Budapest. It's the first time we've ever taken a river cruise. We have done ocean cruises many times in the past, but we thought we'd try this. We had heard good things about river cruises, and we heard some good things about this particular company called Emerald that we were booking with. So, you know, we did everything. Now, these little suckers are not cheap. This cruise was costing us almost $20,000, okay? You had to put down a deposit, which we did, and then 3 months before the cruise was to go, we were to, 3 months, maybe just 2, we had to pay the balance. No, it was 90 days, so it was 3 months. We had to pay the balance. So pay everything up front. Big chunk of change. But fine, we did all of that. And then COVID hit, and everything got shut down, including this river cruise company. Problem being, though, is they left us hanging. We were trying to make a decision as to what were we going to do. About 1 week before the policy said we could cancel at any time, but we would lose 50% of what we were going to pay. Now, we also had travel insurance, okay? And we took out the travel insurance before the COVID thing hit. So we had no idea when we took out the travel insurance. And travel insurance was very expensive. It was pretty much about $900 for that. And essentially, it was above and beyond the insurance we already had for this kind of thing. But we wanted to make sure, because when you're outlaying this kind of money for something, you know, at our age, given my family situation with my mother and all of that, you never know if you have to cancel. So it was a hard decision. The river cruise company was not giving us any help with this, not letting us know. They kept us hanging on there. They weren't making an absolute declaration that they were canceling and this is what they were going to do for you until about 6 to 7 days before the deadline for canceling to get at least 50% of our money back. And then they were saying they were only going to give us a future cruise credit. I think they put the future cruise credit to about 125%. Well, a lot of problems with that. So we decided that, well, in the meantime, we had gone back and forth with them about getting a full refund and all that kind of stuff. They weren't budging on that. The best they would do is stick to the contract. We canceled before a certain date. They'd give us 50% of it back. So right now, and they told us it would probably take about 8 weeks to get that refund. The end of this week will be 8 weeks, and Quilter will be right on top of them about that because we have heard nothing more from them. We have paperwork from them stating that this is what they're going to do, so we'll be holding them to that. But every step of the way, it's been a fight, major fight. And, you know, I got to give credit to Quilter. He has a lot more patience than I do, so he has carefully drafted out a letter to them, and I'm going to come to that in a minute and explain what's happening there. But I'm still, just to bring you up to speed. So we checked with the insurance company. Quilter called them and it said, you know, this is the situation. He was upfront about everything. We weren't making up stories or anything. We told him exactly what was happening and said, would they cover the other 50% if we did that? At that time on the phone, they said, yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with that. Well, that's what they said. So as long as we had all the documentation in that, and we do. We have all the documentation that they need and then some more. And plus, There's forms you have to fill out for them. It's, insurance companies take your money just like that, no problem. Giving you any money back, that's another problem with them. Okay? I hate insurance companies. I absolutely hate insurance companies, and I especially hate travel insurance companies. As far as I'm concerned, travel insurance is a scam, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But let's back up. So, Walter filed all the information for the insurance company, filled it all out. It took weeks for them to get back to us. They finally got back to us about a week and a half ago, and they had a little thing, one line, no, we're not giving you any money back because you canceled your cruise. Okay. No. I don't accept that as the right answer. So I said, we're going to sit down, we're going to compose another letter, and we're going to have an appeal on this claim. So this is what we're about to send in. Now, I wrote something, Walter wrote something, we've combined the two of them together, and this is the letter, and I'm going to read it to you in its entirety. So, dear sir or madam, in reference to your response to our claim for case, number of the cases there, which you have rejected, we would like you to know this is not a reasonable solution to our situation for the following reasons. 1. You claim the company offered us a full credit. This is not true. The company offered us a future cruise credit but did not guarantee that a future credit would cover the total cost of a cruise at the time we might rebook. The probability of the company raising their prices to compensate for monies lost due to the COVID crisis is very great. Therefore, we would be expected to pay additional funds over and above the credit issued. This, therefore, is not a full credit. Number 2. We did cancel the cruise after the company themselves had canceled the cruise and were unable to give us a reasonable timeline as to when we could expect to rebook. 3. There is absolutely no guarantee that this company will still be in business at the time of booking a future cruise. As such, we would lose 100% of all monies already paid to the company with no chance of any compensation. 4. The possibility of booking a future cruise with this company is totally dependent upon when the COVID crisis is over. This cannot be accurately predicted since there are many factors, i.e., reopening of ports, reopening of airports, reopening of accommodations, that could delay this process for many months, if not several years. 5. It was not possible for us to travel during the time the cruise was booked in May, due to Canadian travel restrictions and travel restrictions within the countries we were to visit. The travel cancellation policy is restricted to compensation lost during the time period of actual travel. 7. The explanation of benefits form reads that I have submitted a claim for $19,130 Canadian for the full cost of the cruise. I wanted to clarify that we were actually submitting a claim for $9,565, which represents 50% of the cruise price, as the other 50% has been refunded by the cruise company, Emerald Waterways, as outlined in document number 1 in the package of information I sent with the original claim. To clarify this further, I have attached a revised claim form reflecting this information in the expense summary. We respectfully request that you seriously reconsider your initial decision to reject our claim based upon the points listed above. To be honest, we paid the tour company Emerald Waterways in full and in good faith before the crisis altered everything, expecting the company to fulfill their contract with us. They did not, and even once the crisis took full control of our situation, they delayed their response to the situation and left us with no reasonable course of action until it was too late. We received notice of their cancellation on April 8th, and we had to make a decision by April 16th, otherwise we would have lost the ability to even get a 50% refund. We paid $895.48 for your insurance service, and by rejecting our claim, you have accepted our payment, but you have not delivered the contracted service. We have used your services many times in the past and have always been very pleased with your service. Pending how you address the concerns outlined above, will determine whether or not we will escalate this claim to the next level of appeal and whether or not we will ever consider using your services in the future. If the appeal of this insurance claim is rejected, then we would like a fully detailed explanation of why the claim has been rejected that clearly supports your decision and counters each of our points listed above. A more detailed explanation for the rejection than what was supplied in the original explanation of benefits mailed to us on June 10th, 2020. Yours truly. So, I notice there's a couple little things I have to change in there grammatically speaking, but that is our letter. So, once I clean it up a little bit more, we're going to send that out, and we'll sit and we'll wait, and we'll decide what our next level of response will be if they come back and reject our claim for that. Yeah, if my hair wasn't already white, it would be. So, really what's pissing me off this week is travel insurance in general, and the whole idea of paying up front for travel. And now I've said this once before. We are no longer going to be paying up front for travel. We usually like to book a trip, well in advance, especially something that's like a cruise or something or a tour or whatever. No more. No. Companies just screw you. That's how the travel industry works. You can't trust travel agents. You can't trust hotel accommodations. You can't trust anything that's on the internet with it. So why bother? We like to travel. But you want to know something? We're going to leave it all till the last minute. Once we can travel again, whenever that's going to be. We're not putting up thousands and thousands of dollars up front, the whole bit, for the benefit of the company. We're going to make these things work for us. And you want to know something? It can be done at the last minute. There are many people who book travel at the last minute and have a wonderful time. I'm a planner. I don't like doing that, but guess what? It's the new norm, and that's what's going to happen. Travel insurance is a scam. Well, all insurance is basically a scam. You pay big bucks, like you paid almost $900 for nothing at this point in time. No wonder. I hope, I really hope, and I'm not saying this out of bitterness, I really hope that travel industry, travel insurance, all that, learn some lessons from this whole COVID thing and alter their way of doing business with their clientele. They probably won't because, quite frankly, they're greedy buggers. It's as simple as that. So, we'll see. We'll see what comes from this. But like I said to Walter, we're not taking no as the first answer. We're going to make them jump through hoops. And I just noticed, and I'll have to ask him why, he left out the part that I had written in about taking possibly further legal action. I don't know. I'll have to see what his reasoning was for that. But anyways, I'll let you know. We'll keep you up to date. So bottom line is, be very, very cautious about how much money you initially outlay to a company for travel and for travel insurance and everything like that. Because there is no guarantee that you're going to get what you paid for. Okay, so let's move on. Talking about spending money. Yes, I did. I got an order from a place called Runaway Quilts online. It's a Canadian company. I think I mentioned the fact that my order sat for about 10 days in post office distribution center that's on the other side of Toronto before I got it. But I did get it, and I'm pleased with what I got. It may not mean much to you, but this. Now, if you sew, if you quilt, I highly recommend this. This is a Canadian product. It's called Acorn Precision Piecing Products. They have two products. One is a glue. It is a glue that sets with heat. It's repositionable, and if you don't want to use pins and clips, it works really well. Now, as a quilter, you often have to match up your seams, and you have to clip them or pin them so that you get them underneath your needle in your sewing machine and everything lines up nice. And that's how you get nice, crisp intersection points. Well, you put this glue on, and it does the same thing. But the beauty of the glue is it's repositionable, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue. It washes right out. no problem. It is great. I have used it for tricky piecing parts and I love it. Well, I've had that for a while. I bought it at a sewing show. But I had heard about this. I heard about this from Kim on the Quilter's Way, actually. And she and someone else on there had been singing the praises of this. So I thought I'd give it a try because I saw they had it on sale on Runaway Quilts. Because this stuff isn't really cheap. I mean, this bottle cost $25. But what is this? This you spray onto stubborn seams that don't want to lay down when you're pressing them, and they lay down. This stuff goes on there, you press it, bang, it holds it. It makes nice, crisp, pressed seams. It's excellent. You don't need very much of it, which is good at what it costs, but I absolutely have fallen in love with it. It's great. No sticky residue, nothing like that. I got the starter kit, which included this bottle plus a mister bottle, and you can also get, I already had it, it's a little brush kind of thing. You pour some of this in it, and it lets you just brush across the seam with it instead of misting it. And well, this stuff is excellent. It is not easy to get because usually there's only a few places online that sell it in Canada. I think it might be available in a few places online in the States too, but oftentimes they're sold out of it. That's how popular it is. In fact, it's so popular that I am thinking of buying a gallon of it. I'm going to go on to Runaway Quilts again later today, and I think I'll order a gallon of it. It's pricey. I think it's about $77 for a gallon. Now, that may have been a special price. I better check real quick to see if that's still on there. That price is still there. But then I should have enough to last me forever. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with this. The other thing I got from them was this ruler. Now, you can't see this very well, but this is a special ruler. I haven't used it yet for doing what they call log cabin strips. Log cabin block is basically a bunch of little strips all sewn in a certain way, and they can get real wonky when you're cutting them. So this supposedly will help make sure everything is cut straight. Now, I have other things that cut strips as well, but this was on sale for $10. I think it was regularly like $23.99, so I thought I'd give it a go because I am a ruler whore. The other thing I bought was this pattern. This is what they call a collage quilt. It's more of a wall hanging than anything else, and it's made up of your scraps, but I haven't taken it out of the package yet to see how intricate it is. I've been thinking, though, about trying one of these, but I couldn't resist when I saw that they had this on sale for $23 because regularly this is $43.50, and my local quilt store actually sells these patterns. There's many of them in the series for $49.99. So that's just the pattern. Okay, that's no fabric or anything. So I've held back from it. But when I saw this was on sale for this price, and it was a rooster, because I've got a thing about roosters. I don't know why, but I made that quilt with a rooster in it, so it's my new thing. I latched onto it real quick. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this. I'd really like to get started on it, but I've got a ton of quilts that I need to quilt, and I'm using every excuse in the book to avoid doing them, and I got to stop doing that. I've got to get in there and go. That's what I say right now. The other thing that I bought, this was an expensive purchase, but I'm loving it. You know that I have an embroidery machine. It's my big ongoing saga with the 15,000 Horizon that I'm having problems with right now. I bought this. This is Janome's Artistic Digitizer. This allows you to make your own embroidery designs. It's a very, very powerful program. For example, I went onto Google Images and, well, actually, Walter found Mickey. Walter loves Mickey Mouse. And he's using the program as well. We're trying to learn it right now. It does have a fairly steep learning curve. Well, it doesn't. It's probably a medium range one. If you've used other graphic programs before, a lot of this kind of imitates those. So it's not that difficult, but there are some things that, are new to us, and so we have to learn them. But anyways, we are. And so Walter found this image, and he did some editing of it, because I think the original image had something like, 40 colors in it, 40 and 100 color changes and whatnot, putting your thread, taking out your thread, and he got it down to a manageable amount, and I stitched it out the other day, and it came out pretty good, which means that you can go in and grab almost any image off of Google, or you can scan an image into your computer or whatever, and you can do it. So I found this one of the chipmunk because I'm going to share some information about our little chipmunk friends that we have in the house. So I made this one up from that. A friend of mine wants me to take his company logo and digitize it for him so that he can put it on face masks that he's making. So he's supposed to send that to me sometime today, and we'll try that. But it's a very powerful program, and it does so much more than what I've just shown you. Those are just things I'm playing with. You can do your own designs from scratch. You can customize other designs that you may have purchased or whatever, which is great. But the little sucker is expensive. Janome, their smart company, they sent out at the 1st of May a trial version of this program, fully operable. It's a hard word to say. And you could use it for a month, and then couldn't use it anymore. And of course, that was to entice people to buy this. And then at the end of that time, they offered a coupon you could take to your dealer, and you get $100 off the price of this. Well, it's better than a kick in the head, okay? But this program costs regular price at my quilting store, $1,099. So I got it for $999 Canadian, okay? With tax on top of it, it was just over $1,100. Yeah, pricey, pricey, pricey. But I've invested in a top-end embroidery machine, so if I want to get my full use out of it, I guess I need to invest in this. At least that's what I'm telling myself. That's how I'm rationalizing it. So that's my new toy, and that's what I'll be playing with, along with a whole lot of other things I'm doing at the same time, to develop my own kind of designs and things like that. So yeah, it was an expensive week. Oh, plus I did go into the store this week. She's now taking appointments and things. We're still doing the social distancing and all the other things, but we're now at that phase here in my area where stores can, under strict restrictions, open up, and she has, and I dropped $700 on fabric. And I do have all of that in a more detailed blurb in the Idiot Quilter episode 70. I think it's number 70, but I've got it linked in the show notes. Yeah, it was episode 70 where I talk about it. So those of you out there that are interested in sewing and fabric and stuff like that may want to check that one out. Okay, so what else? Oh, I didn't bring it out and show it to you. But I bought a art knife, okay, an X-Acto knife type thing, but it's by Olfa. Olfa makes rotary cutters and rotary cutting mats and things like that, and they're very good quality cutting tools. And I was watching a YouTube video where someone was using this particular Olfa knife, art knife, for cutting out applique. And so I went on Amazon and I found it. Yeah, you can get X-Acto knives for a lot less money. This was 20 bucks Canadian. Plus I bought a package of 25 replacement blades, which was another 16. So, $37 later kind of a thing. Thank goodness for Prime. Got free shipping, yay, on that one. But yeah, it's a heavier art knife. It's very balanced. It's very nice in your hand, and it cuts like butter. So it's great for really intricate things. So if you're interested, it's not just for fabric. You can use it for your paper crafting and stuff like that. And yes, there are cheaper blades out there, but you get what you pay for. And I have lots of X-Acto knives. But like, for example, I have one of these pen knives, they call them, pen blade. And I bought a set of 3 when they came out. They're different sizes, and they're good. I like them. They're less expensive for 3 of them than I think what I'm paying for one of these. But they're very lightweight. There's no weight to them. The blades on them are not as nice as the Olfa ones. There's a little bit of give in these, but these are good too. But the Olfa, It's just that much more like nicer. It's more professional. So if you're looking for a really good knife, I suggest the Olfa one. And it's called the Olfa Art Knife. And you'll find it on Amazon. Just do a search for it. Okay. What else? Oh, yeah. So I ordered from from Monfil, which is my favorite company. It's in Quebec for stabilizers and things like that. And they do sell Aurifil thread. Now, Aurifil thread is the thread that I like to use when I'm piecing quilts. It's a very good Italian thread. It's expensive, but it's good quality. My quilting store sells it for $14.99 a spool. And the spool has 1,300 meters on it, so there's a lot on a spool. Monfil, though, sells it for $10.99. Same stuff exactly. So I bought 2 boxes. One of white, one of black. That's white. In there. And there's 5 in each of these. And so, yeah, it cost me over $100 for these 2 boxes. But now I've got thread coming out of my yin-yang, and I shouldn't run out. And as I said, this is the thread I use all the time, and I love it. So that was a good price. That's why I stocked up. And what else? Did I buy anything else? I'm just checking my notes here. No, I think that was it. I do have a few more things on order. Of course I do. Some fabric. One of my, it used to be a local quilt store here in the area. They closed down about 1.5 years ago, and now they have an online presence. They just opened up, and they had some fabrics that I can't get at my other quilting store, and so I decided to put it in order for them. And just as an aside, I found an error on their website that was in their order form, and I contacted the owner of the website and said, hey, I'm trying to put in this order, and it won't let me go any further than this step because of this, this, and that. And she got right on it, got it fixed up, and for pointing it out to her, she offered me a choice of any of the fabric she had online, a free yard. She calls it a yard. In Canada, most of our stuff is in meters, but I don't know if she's selling it, if she actually is selling by the yard or by the meter. I guess when I see it, I'll know. If it's 36 inches, it's a yard. If it's 39 inches, it's a meter. So we'll see. But either way, I thought that was really nice of her to do that. So good customer relationship right there. I mean, depending on how long it's going to take to get to me. I mean, she's in this area, but it's coming by Canada Post, so who knows. That will determine whether or not I order anything more from her in the future, too. So, yeah, I'll show you that when it comes in, because it's really pretty fabric. Okay, I think that was it. Yeah, so that takes us to the book of the week. I forgot I had this one. Had it for a while. It's called Folding Ideas for Cards and Envelopes. And basically, it is a book with hundreds of templates that show you how to fold for different effects. So for pop-out cards, sliding cards, all kinds of different things in here. These are elements you could use in things like your scrapbook pages to make them more interactive, in mixed media journals, whatever, or just cards as well. So lots and lots of ideas in here. Now, when I originally, and it comes with a CD. Okay, this is primitive, but that's how long I've had it, because a lot of newer computers now don't come with CD drives, right? But this one did come with a CD. And it has all of the things you saw on the pages in here. The templates are all on here that you can just print out on your printer and then, you know, cut out and fold up and do whatever. It is, I was going to say, where was it manufactured? I don't know. It's got a lot of languages on it. It doesn't really have one author, but it comes from a company in the US called Pepinpress.com. Pepinpress.com. I don't know if they're in existence anymore. I didn't try it, but I did find it on Amazon. Original price, it says on the back of this, was $29.99 US. On Amazon.ca, the Canadian outlet of Amazon, it is now $54.62 plus shipping. But they did have it in used form starting at $25.10 plus whatever the shipping is. So it's available. Great idea book. If you love doing interactive things, then it might be worth the investment. So that's the book of the week. Okay, so that takes us to the continuing progress on my grimoire. To be honest, I'm getting tired of the grimoire. It's getting too fat, and so I am thinking that, and I think I mentioned this last week, there's about 14 pages left in it, but there's no way that the book is going to close if I actually fill all those 14 pages. So I'm thinking of removing some of those, and I've got an idea for taking some of those pages, making them into a folding insert that folds out from the book, and that will probably be the last thing I will do in the grimoire, and that would be on next week's video, because I'm kind of want to get into another project I have in mind as well. But here's the next installment. So I've created 2 more pages in the grimoire. I think we're up to pages 25 and 26 now, and so here's what I've done. Now these pages are featuring some elements from Mike Deacon. I buy a lot of his digital downloads, or digi-downloads as he calls them, and that's what a lot of these pieces are. So let's start with the background, because there's layers here. And these 2 pieces were actually a page that he had created out of a dictionary with a skeleton on it. And what I did was I decided to print them on vellum and adhere them, because I want them to be a little bit translucent so that the script paper in the background would show up. But one problem, I have an inkjet printer, and when you print on vellum with inkjet, you've got to let it dry, because it will smear when it first comes off the printer. So I did let it dry. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes for it to thoroughly dry. But the other problem is the ink that I'm using in my inkjet printer is not waterproof. And at the beginning of this, I thought I might be using some matte medium on this page. Turned out that I didn't, but just in case, I used a spray fixative, a final fixative spray on top of this and let it dry. In fact, I heat set it with my heat dryer. I don't know if you need to do that or not, but I did, and that makes it waterproof. Ended up though that I didn't need the matte medium. Now the reason I was thinking I might need the matte medium is because when you put glue on the back of vellum, it often shows through. But I used my Tombow tape runner, which I love these tape runners. I buy them by the case, have for years, and it does not show up through this vellum. Now the vellum I printed on too was not a pure white or a clear. It was sort of an off-white. Bit of a gray tinge to it too, which I think helped to hide the tape runner on it. So I ripped the page in half and ripped around the edges as well and laid it down for my background. Then I just did some layering. Now again, it's getting very fat, as I've said before, so I tried to keep the elements as flat as possible on here. So this weird looking woman, I think she's called the Raven Queen. She is, because even this little nameplate came from the same set of digi-downloads from Mike Deacon, along with this bird with the red jewel sitting here on his neck, and it says Spirit of the Dark here. So I put those on, and I put a couple of my little mini spell cards that I printed out some time ago. I tore the edges and darkened them with some black stays-on ink. And friend or foe, that also came from the digi-download set as well. And I just layered them on here, trying to keep them as flat as possible. Well, after I got that done, I thought the page still needed something, so I went to my little stash of goodies and found these very stylized, almost, I don't know, gothic-looking crosses. Darkened them. They are wood chip pieces. Darkened them with the stays-on black ink, and on this one, to pick up the red jewel here on the hawk, not hawk, but on the crow, I guess it's a crow, I just took a red Sharpie marker and colored in. There was a heart outline already on here, and just colored that in red, so the two kind of connect the pages together. And that is all I've done on this particular page. Now, looking ahead, I know I have to take pages out, and I have done that already. And when we get to this section, which will be probably in the next segment, what I did was I took out a group of the pages near the back, and I trimmed down the edges of this so it would slip into this pocket. So in a sense, I'm thinking, and I'm just thinking right now, I haven't made any decisions at all finalized on this, but this could be a little mini book that comes out of the main album. And I may have to do a little bit more trimming to get this to go in a little bit more smoothly. Something's in there stopping it. Okay, well, I'll have to play with that, there we go, a little bit later. But you see, it would open up like this, and there's other pages here. Now, is that going to reduce the bulk in my album? No, probably not. Let's put that over there. But it might be an interesting element. We'll see how that works out, because as I said, this thing does not shut anymore. Glad I put a long ribbon on it. So that takes us to the next segment. So that takes us to events in the past week. My mother is fine. Now, I talked about this yesterday on Stephen Walter Live, so I'm going to make a long story short. They're going to reopen up the ability to visit people that are in the nursing home. However, the government has put in a lot of restrictions for this, which quite frankly have made it at this point in time next to impossible to go over for a visit. They want you to have had and prove that you've had a COVID test within 2 weeks before you have scheduled your visit to prove you're negative. They are doing all of the visitations outside of the home, like physically outside, as long as the weather's nice. The idea is you phone ahead, you book a time, they give you 30 minutes. You have to arrive there on time. If you do not, you forfeit that time. They bring out your loved one. You have a little chat. You cannot touch them. You have to maintain a 6-foot distance away from them, or 2 meters. Or is it 6 meters? 2 meters. Whatever, away from them. You cannot bring them any kind of food gifts or anything like that. You have to supply your own mask, and they have to be more than just the ones that we're all making at home right now. They have to be the more medical grade ones. I don't think they have to be those N whatever 95s or whatever, but they have to be a little bit more professional. Your visit will be supervised to make sure you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing. So yeah, basically the government is trying to compensate for the bad job they've been doing for the last century with people in long-term care residences. It's a little too late kind of a thing. On the other hand, this is where in my province over half of the cases of the deaths from COVID have been from people who have lived in long-term care residences. So yeah, we need to be very, very careful. I called my sister to see if she saw the email from the home about this. She had, and I want to make sure we were on the same page about visiting Mom. And we both agreed that, yeah, we're not doing this yet. If they have this many restrictions on the whole bit, then that means they are not confident that we can visit safely. And so we're not. We're not going to bother with this at all right now. We both phone my mother all the time during the week. We're in touch with her all the time, so it's not like, we've just abandoned her. We have not. And so I talked to Mom the other day, and I told her this, exactly this. I tell my mother everything. I don't hold back on anything. I mean, she still has her faculties. She understands these things, and she was in agreement with it. In fact, she didn't seem too upset about the fact that we weren't coming anytime soon to visit her. So there you go. So that's the way it stands right now. So I'd rather be very safe than sorry. I do not want to be responsible, and I don't want the people in the home there, the staff of that, to end up being responsible for spreading COVID to my mother and killing her. So we just waited out a little bit longer. Okay. So that's my mom. update on my sewing machine is that it's still in the shop. They're still playing with it. They're getting closer to it. It has been doing the things, though, to them that it does to me, so it's not my imagination, and it isn't me, which is good to know. Meanwhile, I have their machine, and I'm merrily sewing along with it, and I haven't had any problems with it, knock wood. So it's the machine. So we'll see. As long as I have a machine to work on, I'm okay with all of this right now. You know, take their time, get it figured out, get it fixed right. Okay. So, we captured a chippy, a chipmunk. We've been having some problems. And when I say we, I mean Walter. I never hear these things, but Walter hears scratchy noises in the attic, actually in our soffits. And we have a lot of wildlife, as you've heard me say before, in our backyard because we back onto a forested area. So we have bunnies and squirrels and chipmunks and skunks and raccoons and wolves and coyotes, and we haven't had a bear yet, but there was a bear spotted not that far from where we live a few weeks ago. So yeah, we live in, you know, the forest kind of a deal. Chipmunks are cute. Damn cute. You know, they're precious. You know, you want to get out there with a handful of nuts and feed them all the time. And believe me, they will take them. They will. Chipmunks, you know, are, once you start feeding them peanuts, they'll come right up to you and take them. But they're also destructive little rodents. They dig, they scratch, they chew, they bite, they eat through things. And as cute as they are, they're very mischievous, to say the least. So Walter's tried several things to rid us of the problem. Now, okay, I'm not very proud of this, but we have used poison. There's these little blocks you can get. They're usually for mice. Well, he put some up where he thought they might be coming in or whatever, and, well, they did digest or took away 4 of those little blocks, so we may have killed a few chipmunks. And that makes me feel a little bad because they are so cute. So he decided they seem to be getting into our garage area. So he set up the live capture trap. And they love their peanut butter. So that's what he put in there, some peanut butter and nuts. And lo and behold, yesterday we had a chipmunk. Or was it Saturday? Whatever. We caught one. He was a cute little bugger. Walter took him for a little drive. We did not kill him. I couldn't kill him. There's just no way. Given what I've already said about the poison pellets, but, you know, so Walter took him for a little drive out to the country and let him run free. I felt kind of bad about that, too, because, you know, we're uprooting him from where his home is, and, you know, he's probably got lots of friends and everything, and they've probably been Zooming and doing the social distancing, and now we take him off and abandon him in a field somewhere. Well, he'll make new friends. So anyways, I have a little video clip of him because he's so cute.
Oh, he's so cute. You're going for a little ride, little chippy. Oh, you are? Oh, but you're so cute. And you're so destructive. Yes, you are. Very destructive. Okay. Bye, Chip.
Okay, so what's coming up? Haircut. Yay. Well, my hairdresser called me this week. Now that we've gone into phase 2 in our area, hairdressing salons can open up with all the restrictions. So she called us up and she said, okay, we can start booking appointments again. So she said, this is how it's going to work. She talked about all the restrictions. You know, when you get there at your time, you can't just walk into the salon. You've got to text them or phone them. Then they will let you in. They have hand sanitizer. You've got to wear a mask. They have special hours because in the salon she works in, there's a bunch of them in there. So they have to stagger their hours when they're going to be in the store so they can practice social distancing. They have to have time to clean after every client. I mean, what a pain in the butt for them, right? But that's fine. So she said, so I can put you in for Wednesday. And I'm thinking, this call came in on Thursday. She called me of this past week. And I thought, wow, that's fast. Hey, Wednesday of next week. Yeah, I can do that. No problem. She says, no. Wednesday, July the 9th. Okay. So I've got about 2 weeks yet before I can get my hair cut. Now, actually, it's not looking bad today. But I'll tell you what the secret is. Hair dryer. Hair dryer and a brush, and I do trim my hair. And yeah, I'm getting a little better at it. I mean, actually, this is the length my hair used to be years ago. But I haven't had it this long in 30 years, probably. I said to her on the phone, well, don't be shocked when you see how my hair looks. I did not tell her about this. I'm saving that as a little special surprise, the beard. But I'll be really glad to get my hair cut because it is starting to drive me mental, to say the least. And, I've said to Walter, the younger people are all wearing their hair where they sort of have it shaved or cut really short on the sides, and then they have it's a little longer up here, and it does this flip thing. And I thought, wonder what that would look like. But no, I don't think so. That's high maintenance. I don't want high maintenance. But I'm going to keep the beard after I get my hair cut too a little bit because I kind of like the beard. She can't trim the beard for me because they're not allowed. Part of the restrictions are they can't do any of that kind of thing because they come too close to your mouth and germs and all that kind of stuff, right? But I can trim my own beard, and I have been trimming my own beard. Needs to fill in a little bit more here on the sides, I think, but whether it will or not. And I'll decide whether, I might go goatee. I'm thinking about that. Or I'm going to keep it like maybe fairly short. I mean, I don't want anything down here. I don't want that ZZ Top look. Okay, no, I want to keep it, reasonably short and neat. And I have clippers for this, and I have been doing it myself with it. And Walter got this beard oil stuff, and it was a package of 3. Cedar wood was 1 cent, the other one was saddlewood, and then it was unscented. I really like it. It smells really nice, too. I mean, the smell doesn't last all that long in it, but I don't know if it really does much for you or not. It's supposed to, I guess, keep your skin underneath your beard soft and supple. I don't know, to avoid ingrown hair or something like that. But I do like the scent of it as it lasts. It does smell very nice. So, yeah, we'll see. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, here's the big news. Okay. I purchased a subscription to Zoom. Now, everybody's been Zooming these days. If you're not Zooming, where are you? You living under a rock? I don't know. So I said to the people who are my regulars that come on to Stephen and Walter Live that next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do a Zoom with anybody that's interested. And I'm opening this up here as well. Now, in the show notes, you will find right in the beginning of the show notes how to contact me. It has my email address. If you want to be part of the Zoom meeting, and it's going to be very casual, bring a cocktail kind of a thing, depending, of course, what time it is for you in your end of the country or world. And we're just going to chat. And we're going to get to know you because now we've got something. You can see us. When I do these videos, when we do our Stephen Walter Live, you can see us, but we can't see you. We can chat with you when we do the live, YouTube Live, but it's not the same as seeing your face. I want to see your face. Okay? You may not want me to see your face, but I want to see your face because I really feel, especially for people that have been supporting my vlog and Stephen Walter Live for a long time now, I feel like you're friends. And friends don't hide their face from friends. So the plan is that next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's Saturday, we will have a Zoom get-together with anybody else who would like to. Now, how do you get involved? Send me your email address to my email address. That's in the show notes. And then on Friday of this week, I will send out to everybody that's in that list an invitation. That invitation will state the date and the time of the Zoom meeting, and it will have the link. Do you need special software? All you need is your computer and, of course, an internet connection. The link is a web page. You go to that. It'll tell you that the host will sign you in. I am the host. So about a few minutes or whenever you get on there, it notifies me that you were there waiting. There's like they call it a waiting room. And I just click on you and in you go. Now, you need a webcam, or if you can do this on your iPad, you can do this on your iPhone. Maybe you're able to do it on an Android phone. I'm not sure. I don't have an Android phone, but I think on any platform, you can do it on a PC, you can do it on a Mac, and you need to have a microphone of some sort. Your computer probably has one built into it. Of course, you have a microphone in your iPad, you have a microphone in your iPhone, the whole bit. It's very easy to use if you've never used it before. And like I said, where you been? Living under a rock? I don't know. So there's no need to be afraid of the technology. If you know how to get onto the internet, you are already there. So as I said, when the invitation comes out, there'll be a link. You click on the link at the time or a couple of minutes before the time it starts, and bang. In fact, it will even send you a reminder that you have signed up for this. So I will send out that invitation on Friday of this week. Probably I'll send it out, around noontime, my time. And you'll have it. And then 4 o'clock on the Saturday, that's June the 27th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll do a Zoom. And as I said, it's going to be very informal. It's not going to be probably very, very long. I don't know. It depends on how much we have to say. I may send out along with this some suggestions. Maybe there's something you've been working on you'd like to show everybody, because now's your opportunity to do so. Be prepared. We're going to ask some questions. We might even play a little game. I don't know yet. I've got this week to work that all out. The reason I'm doing this is, and why I've invested in a subscription to Zoom, is because I have future plans for this. Zoom would allow me to actually do workshops online with people who are interested. Now, you know that sometimes with Stephen and Walter Live, we do art attacks every now and then, but they are very difficult for us to do because of the equipment that we have to work with. It's not as easy to do those on YouTube Live. It's easier in Zoom. I'm also thinking of offering some small little workshops or sewing projects for people who are interested in that kind of thing. Right now, I am not thinking about charging any kind of money for any of this stuff. I'm doing it free. Will that change in the future? Maybe, probably not. Because basically collecting a fee for things like this is a bit of a pain in the butt. I'm really not set up for that. I suppose I could do e-transfer, but I don't have a website per se where, I could set all that kind of stuff up. And that's also another investment in funds. And, that's money I could be using for fabric. So no, I'm not doing this as a business. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it to explore what more we can do with the technology we have, especially while we're still in this isolation situation. And just as a sad note on the side, if anybody really thinks we are not going to be in this situation for much longer, I think you're wrong. Because the reason I say that, look at the States. Their cases are up again. They opened too soon. And even here in Ontario where I live, they're going to go up again. I haven't heard the stats for today from over the weekend, but apparently people were going down to the beaches in Toronto and they weren't practicing social distancing or anything like that. So we are our own worst enemies. So I'm just looking at other avenues to keep connected to you and to offer you some diversion from all of this. So if you want to be part of it, and I hope you do, email address is in the show notes. That's all you need to do. Send me an email. With your email address, I will put you in the group. On Friday, you'll get an invitation with the link. On Saturday, we do it. Okay? So I hope I will see many of you then. I think it's going to be fun. Okay? Wear pants. Just saying. Okay, so that's it for me this week. So, hope to see you on Saturday. Sunday, Stephen and Walter live, our usual format on the Sunday, and next week's vlog next Monday. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay in. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.